more rigorous, but also more transparent. The Ministry of Works and Transport is piloting a digital platform that will electronically monitor every learner driver from enrollment to licensing, closing loopholes that have for years allowed some motorists onto the roads with inadequate training.
We shall tell that actually person X has registered on the system, has registered in a driving school, and it will take so much or so many days to accomplish your modules and then qualify to go for practical testing by IOI. We are continuing also to use this. Of course, it will be interfaced with Uganda Police Force in terms of what we call express penalty scheme. Again, because we'll have what we call the merit point system. Maximum points, whenever you commit an offense, we deduct the points. You commit, we deduct some now, and the points also depends on the magnitude of the traffic offense.
Under the new module, every licensed driving school will be connected to the ministry's central database. Authorities will monitor student enrollment, classroom capacity, instructor-student ratios, training vehicles, and the duration of training. The aim is to stop institutions from graduating unrealistic numbers of learners within days or weeks, despite having limited capacity.
You have 2 vehicles to train 10 students. How did the 50 train on these 2 cars? You said you have 2 instructors. How much time is the instructor spending with each of these students?
The reforms build on the success of the Uganda driver licensing system, which the ministry says has transformed driver licensing over the past 5 years. Before automation, obtaining a driving permit could take more than a month, with widespread complaints of bureaucracy, corruption, and forged licenses. Today, renewals can take as little as 10 minutes, while most applicants are served within 30 minutes through a fully digital process.
The magic is you must look at business processes, you look at systems, you look at people, you look at processes, but most importantly, mindset.
The licensing system is already integrated with the National Identification and Registration Authority to verify applicants' identities, Uganda Revenue Authority for digital payments, and is now expanding to include driving schools as another layer of accountability.
Like now, we are thinking of online applications, especially for renewals. Sometimes you will see the congestion, even when the service is faster. Why should somebody take so much time lining up?
The new driving school module is currently undergoing testing, with the ministry expecting its rollout to begin with the coming month. Authorities believe the reforms will not only improve road safety, but also eliminate shortcuts in Uganda's driver licensing process. Walter Mwesije, NTV.
Let's now talk politics, because the People's Front for Freedom says it will seek a court order to allow opposition leader Dr. Kizza Besigye to be transferred abroad for specialized treatment, insisting that saving his life must take priority over the treason case that he is facing. The party is also continuing to push for Besigye's lead lawyer, Elias Lukwago's bail, further demanding for unconditional release of activist Sam Mugumya. Now, Health Minister Chris Baryomunsi today posted on his X handle saying he visited Besigye at Mulago Hospital, where he is steadily recuperating.
We cannot continue without representation.
On Wednesday last week, Dr. Kizza Besigye collapsed during proceedings in his treason trial after protesting the court's decision to proceed with state-appointed lawyers instead of his preferred legal defense team. Prison officers rushed him from court, and he was later admitted to the intensive care unit at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Addressing journalists at the party headquarters in Katonga, People's Front for Freedom Deputy Chairperson Dr. Nicholas Kamara accused prison authorities of delaying emergency medical care after Besigye collapsed.
They had an option, first of all, to take Dr. Kizza Besigye even before the ambulance arrived. They had the option of involving the doctors at the scene, as I've told you. They had the option of evacuating Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye to the hospitals in Kampala, not to Luzira. They still refuse to do it.
Kamara says Besigye remains in intensive care unit with no significant improvement and questioned the response by prison and court officials following the incident.
But important, also we need that the prison authorities and the court, and indeed the judiciary, to account for the time from midday to 8 p.m. What were they doing? How did they intervene?
Party officials argue that the delayed response amounted to medical negligence and maintain that Besigye should be transferred abroad to receive specialized treatment.
The moment in medicine you start doing investigations even 2 weeks after admission, you know you are getting lost. So what they have done is enough. We want to thank them, but we are calling for evacuation of our leader so that they can be treated better.
What is urgent now on our table as People's Front for Freedom is to pursue the evacuation of Dr. Kizza Besigye for medical treatment abroad. We are going to file an application in court demanding that courts should issue an order allowing the evacuation of Dr. Kizza Besigye for medical treatment abroad.
The party's Attorney General, Moses Tugume, says the party would also ask the court to adjourn the ongoing treason trial until Besigye recovers, arguing that the Constitution requires an accused person to be present during trial proceedings.
In a situation where Dr. Besigye is in a sorry state, he can't even be talked to, it becomes of necessity to adjourn the case pending the recovery of his health. For court to proceed in the absence of an accused person, you need the consent of that accused person.
Tugume criticized the handling of Besigye's legal representation, saying no lawyer can represent an accused person without that person's consent, and called for constitutional provisions governing fair trial rights to be respected. He adds that they are filing more applications to secure the freedom of Arias Lukwago, who was one of Besigye's lead lawyers.
Even when you are not suffering from any ailment, court can grant you bail if you have a fixed place of abode, if you have sound sureties, and the court can impose conditions that will compel you to come back at court.
Dr. Besigye, Lieutenant and Captain Ola faced treason charges of allegations that they participated in meetings held in Uganda and abroad between 2023 and 2024 as part of a plot to overthrow the government. I'm Benjamin Jumbe, NTV Weekend Edition.
Now, members of parliament from the opposition have asked the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, to engage with the speaker to allocate them opportunity to speak on the floor of parliament, saying the free sitting in parliament is being adopted where both the government and opposition MPs side on the left-hand side of the speaker get more opportunities than the opposition MPs. Now, this was among the issues that came up as opposition MPs met for another induction, where they also launched the opposition legislative priorities for the 12th parliament. Now, the opposition MPs listed a number of legislative priorities, such as the tabling of the contract farming bill, among others. Now, the contract farming bill 2023 was introduced in 2024, reviewed in 2025, and withdrawn in March 2026 due to timing and the need for broader stakeholder alignment.
Opposition members of parliament have retreated to NTV to discuss the opposition legislative priorities for the 12th parliament. Joel Senyonyi, the leader of opposition in parliament, is leading the team.
Ensuring that our interventions remain focused on the issues that matter, especially to ordinary Ugandans, while enabling every member of parliament to effectively represent the unique interests of their constituencies.
Senyonyi says the gathering comes at a time when the country is experiencing several challenges, including unemployment, poverty, hostile political environment. He, however, asked MPs to unite and ensure that all Ugandans access services without discrimination.
Uganda continues to face serious challenges, including high cost of living, youth unemployment, poor service delivery, corruption, insecurity, land conflicts, rising public debt, and disregard for the rule of law. These challenges demand an opposition that is united, informed, and prepared for leadership.
The leader of opposition also reminded the opposition MPs that they were voted and mandated by Ugandans to speak on their behalf and urged them to do so without fear.
Strengthen not only our individual capacities, but also the collective effectiveness of the opposition. Above all, let us remember that although we belong to different political parties, we are united by a shared commitment to constitutionalism, accountability, justice, and good governance. Our diversity should strengthen and not divide us. When we work together, we amplify the voices of millions of Ugandans who have entrusted us with this mandate.
Opposition MPs are bracing to offer alternative policies that are aimed at bringing about improved lives of the people of Uganda.
This year is a roadmap that will guide our legislative engagement, oversight, and policy advocacy in advancing the improvement of the lives of the people of Uganda, accountable governance, and the pursuit of respect for the rule of law in our country.
Several speakers invited to speak to the MPs advised them to stick to the principles of a better opposition to ensure that Ugandans benefit from the taxes they pay.
Safeguard constitutional governance and rule of law. And we know the challenge that we have as of recent in regard to the rule of law. Scrutinize executive decisions. Ensure proper allocation, expenditure, and value for taxpayers' money.
But can you determine an alternative policy without knowing the current policy? Is it possible? It is not possible. So if you want to propose alternatives to UPE as a shadow minister for education, you must know the policies around UPE.
Due to the big number of MPs, a free sitting policy has been introduced in the chambers. However, some opposition MPs say this has deprived them the opportunity to catch the speaker's eyes to allow them deliberate on the floor of parliament.
Those few instances of unfairness, which we hope our chief opposition whip and our leader of opposition will have to address.
We must agree that even those that we are calling experienced politicians or experienced legislators were once like us, but because they were given chances, that's why we are saying that they are experienced. So we also need to get that experience.
Very important to us, and it's about how to effectively represent our people and how to basically utilize the floor of parliament to get solutions for our people.
The opposition politicians listed their legislative priorities, among them the amendment of the Trial on Indictments Act, the reduction of supplementary budgets for the Office of the Presidents, as well as improving agricultural production by tabling the contract farming bill, among others.
That we shall leave a lasting legacy of strengthening democracy, promoting accountability, and advancing the aspirations and livelihoods of our people.
Shadow ministers were sworn in during the retreat that will run for 2 days. Juma Kiria, NTV.
You're going to sign on both.
Well, that report from Juma Kiria wraps up the first segment of NTV Weekend Edition. But here is more of what you should expect when we return. Still to come.
Why are you throwing us the real buyers of rice, and then you're bringing in people that don't even sell rice?
A group of traders who import rice from Tanzania has asked the Trade Ministry to license them instead of ring-fencing the business for only 25 individuals and organizations that are hardly dealing in the product.
We are kindly appealing for fairness from the Ministry of Trade.
And in sport, Abraham Cherotich and Dan Kipyeko will lead Uganda's search for a first medal in the men's category when they line up tonight in the men's 3,000 meters finals in Oregon, USA at the World Under-20 Athletics Championships. NTV Weekend Edition returns shortly.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution, or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone, or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Loder Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Protection Fund of Uganda.
Ofuna mawulire agakagwawo oba streaming firimu yo gy'osinga okwagala n'ebirala bingi nnyo buli wiiki ku 10 zokka nga kugirako ne data wa GB 10 kati osobola okulaba TV zonna ez'omu Uganda kw'ossa n'okuwuliza radio zonna live nga tosobola okuzzaamu emabega okurekodinga okuyimirizaamu ngamba ka pause ate n'oddamu n'ogizannya kati tokyalina kiweeraliikirira kuba amasannyalaze ne bwe gagenda oba ng'olina woolaze yo TV channels app yajja okukusootinga kati nno ne jaribu waffe owa bulijjo ofuna eddakiika 10 ez'okustreamingira ku bwereere buli lunaku. Enkola nyangu ejjudde essanyu ng'ate engeri gy'olaba ebikunyumira byonna ku muwendo gya wansi akadde konna wonna w'oli downloadinga UTV channels app olwaleero onyumire ebikusanyusa okutali kkomo.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You are still watching NTV Weekend Edition. Now, the unearthed irregular operations at the Uganda Railways Corporation show that an individual could have pocketed up to 20 billion shillings in money meant for the staff capacity building and procurement of vehicles. Now, some of the would-be beneficiaries who appeared before the Fiscal Infrastructure Committee of Parliament denied attending or receiving the money for the training, which was organized to take place in Spain. In the same vein, 530 million shillings may have been swindled in the purchase of used motor vehicles instead of the planned new vehicles. We do have the detail in this report.
Disowned and left to face the cross alone was the uncomfortable situation Patrick Okanang, a former project manager of a capacity building project under Uganda Railways Corporation, found himself in.
Now my colleagues are denying that they are not appointed as contract managers. Now you are crucifying me as a person who tried to implement.
The accounting officer is here, let him also speak.
Implemented the project.
Okanang was among a delegation of the Uganda Railways Corporation that returned to Parliament to interface with the Fiscal Infrastructure Committee. Under scrutiny were two major concerns on the usage of approximately 20 billion shillings for the building of the capacity of the staff at Uganda Railways Corporation and the regular purchase of motor vehicles. Records showed that 4 new motor vehicles, each valued at 185 million shillings, were supposed to be procured for the project. However, only 3 used double cabins were bought. The anomaly in the procurement was extended to the price of the vehicles, which each cost 70 million shillings and not 185 as planned.
They bought double cabins worth 70 million, not 185. So the contract committee cannot be excused for causing that financial loss to allow the contractor or the consultant to buy all the double cabins when you are aware.
It implies that 115 million shillings was swindled out of acquisition of each of the 3 cars, which amount, when added together, and in addition to the 4th vehicle that was never purchased, is 530 million shillings.
When you read section 7, part 3, these pickups, vehicles shall revert to URC at the end of the 3 years capacity building service.
Chair.
The 3 years ended, and instead these vehicles were taken by people.
The capacity building component of the project was designed for the training of the Uganda Railways Corporation staff. The committee was told that the staff training was crucial for the corporation because the Rift Valley Railways had departed with the skilled workers.
From 2006 to 2018, Uganda Railways did not run trains. So they had no skills for running trains, neither technical or managerial. From your submission means the people you hired didn't have the necessary skills. 2, you're also telling us this training was very good. It was going to equip these people with a very relevant knowledge to run these trains. A training of 1 day that does not have a degree, that does not have a certificate, because they told us some certificates, some trainings didn't get certificates.
Shockingly, however, some of the staff members thought to have undertaken the training in Spain never traveled for the purpose and appear to be hearing about the training for the first time. The would-be beneficiaries of the training denied receiving a penny in travel and training allowances.
Payments clearly that don't exist because the people are here saying they have never seen their money. You have a budget for people traveling abroad from Spain to come and train. They are Ugandans, they are here.
MPs were concerned about how the government could have dedicated 20 billion shillings for capacity building for 300 people, as highlighted in the report. Members of the contract committee that was set up to curtail the anomaly after the risks became apparent either denied taking up the responsibilities or abandoned them midway.
I did not even participate in any of the sittings from day one.
All of the contract committee members present pointed at Okonang for the unearthed anomalies.
The payments went on because we were told it was lump sum, so we had no capacity to stop payment.
Who told you it was lump sum?
Chair information. Chair information.
Because of trying to implement government project, now I'm a sacrificial lamb.
So who should go with you? You tell us.
No, all these people manage the contract.
I don't believe that we have to handle these people one by one. That is a chain, which chain ultimately led to a loss that we are discussing.
They were handed to the parliamentary police to record statements.
CIDS caught the accounting officer and the entire project management team.
The 20 billion shillings for capacity building was provided for under 25 million euro loan facility from the Spanish Corporate Internalization Fund that would also cater for the refurbishment of 28 kilometers of the Namamve-Tororo-Malaba meter gauge railway. Uganda Railways Corporation management is expected to return to the committee on Wednesday next week. Jackson Onyango, NTV at Parliament.
Now, while we were away, we revisit the Kapchora road crash incident where more than 20 pupils from King David Junior School in Ndeje, Wakiso District, lost their lives on July 16th. A tragedy that prompted the Ministry of Education to suspend school trips before introducing stricter guidelines for their organization. Now, amid the devastation, one pupil survived in extraordinary circumstances after a mortuary attendant noticed movement in what was believed to be his lifeless body. Maria Jacinta Kanyage visited the survivor and spoke to his family.
On 16th July this year, a bus carrying pupils of King David Junior School Ndeje crashed in Kapchora district, an incident that left over 25 pupils dead and others injured. All surviving pupils who succumbed to the accident were taken to Mbale Regional Referral Hospital, where many of them received first aid. A few kilometers off the Entebbe Road in Chikajo village, Namasuba in Machindi Sabagabo, is where you find the humble home of Isaac Keith Chumuli, who currently stays with the grandmother. Before the trip, the grandmother operated a small restaurant on the road, but has since been demolished by the trade order that was issued in all cities across the country. The 16th of July remains crystal clear in the mind of his maternal uncle, Godfrey Kalibala, who says he had seen him before departing for the trip.
Because I stay with him at the workplace where I work from,
is also where Jaja used to operate her small restaurant with K. So he came, he collected the money, uncle gave me money, but also I'm going for a trip, you might not see me for like 3 days. I said, it's okay, bye-bye, so he went. So when I got the information, I was really sad. That's when I called Jaja, and she told me she was already at school.
Due to fear and lack of clarity, after receiving the news, Keith Chimuli's parents decided to camp at the school with the view of collecting more information.
I phoned like thousands of parents, and I think it was something like 10 p.m. because the accident happened at 8 p.m. So we stayed there until 1 a.m. the next morning. That is when police came, and I think it's the RPC, Katwe police station, told us that there's nothing we can do. It's better we go back home, we rest, and then we come back tomorrow, we get the real information, what was really happening there.
Kalibela recalls asking for more information from friends who were already at the vicinity, but had goosebumps when the Minister of Local Government, Balam Bargahara, read Chimuli's name as one of the dead pupils.
But that night, we used to send photos asking people that were on the ground, and they told us that Kay was in a very, very critical condition. That is when, after leaving school, we saw a video of Honorable Balam reading names of pupils that had lost life, and Kay Chimuli happened to be number 3 on the list.
That night, an in-law of the family read a WhatsApp status on a friend's phone who happened to be taking videos of those who were affected in the tragedy. They recall being shocked seeing Chimuli in the intensive care unit.
So this brother of mine, the brother-in-law, Muko, saw this video. In that video, he realized a certain face that resembled Chimuli Keith's, the people who were in the ICU. So he called me and told me, Muko, I have seen a status which shows as if Chimuli is still alive. So he drove his car. I was not, because we were already preparing for a vigil, we were buying firewood, porridge, we were crying. So that he drove to my workplace, and then he called that friend who had posted a video on status and told him that, please go back to the ICU and get a video of all the kids and we see. So he went to the ICU. It was a video call, and that is when we saw Kay. He was looking, he was even blinking.
Chimuli was taken to the mortuary by responders who thought he had died. A keen responder who had delivered another body saw Chimuli slowly moving his hand and alerted medical workers who rushed him to the intensive care unit of the hospital.
There is a certain man who noticed Kay in a mortuary in Mbale. Remember in Kapchora, those people, the ladies you saw that helped those kids, they were helping kids that had life. They were crying, help us, help us. So they could not help any kid, any people who was so silent, and his condition or her condition was poor. Like Kay's condition, the intestines were out, there was no movement, was not breathing, was totally down. So they all thought Kay was dead. So from Kapchora to Mbali, he was transported as a dead pupil. It is that man, actually was not a doctor, he was just a helper. He was taking another kid who was dead to a mortuary. That is when he realized that Kay's fingers were moving. So he went and touched them, and he realized they were moving by themselves. Actually, he thought, because he narrated to my brothers who went there that night, that he thought it was only wind that was moving his fingers. But fortunately, they were moving by themselves. So that's when he rushed to the doctors and told them that there's a certain kid who seems to be having life. So they took Kay to the ICU. That's how he was saved.
Chimuli's grandmother explained how their grandson was injured in the tragedy.
Mukulaba kati kukaze binasanga bibuze nga biri bweru bigenda bikalakala. Kuno kwe kwasinga isiweebi, kuno kwafunako obuntu butono. Luno ddwa olubuto lwonna sina wenyinza kugamba nti wano walamu. Lwonna baalusala. Efeesi mugiraba. Yino tenabatereera bulungi.
After being discharged from Mbale Regional Hospital, they were informed that he was fit to recover from home. But along the way back home, Chimuli developed a fever, which caused them to take him to another health facility.
So on reaching there, they say that Kay is in a critical condition. the distance from Mbale to here. He had gotten a lot of pus in the stomach. So this child, they had given us in Mbale, it was now not working at all. So we had to get another admission at Henrop because they realized there was some complication in the stomach. And on the second surgery, the doctors showed me a cup of pus. They got a cup of pus, amasira, from his stomach. So it was really very sad and disgusting.
Since then, the family has since received help from the government amounting to 1 million shillings, but expressed their dismay to the school that overlooked this issue, yet greatly blamed for their negligence.
No, they did not show up. They didn't give any help, not even a visit or something. And it was really sad. Actually, there's a certain teacher who also was involved in an accident. He's a survivor. He has severe injuries. He's only that one person from the school who came, was being held. He has, how do you call them? Clutches. Is that one man who came to the hospital and paid a visit. Okay, he even got 20K. So we only got a visit from his former school. The school he attended before joining King David. It's called Mother's Love in Kanaba, because they learned that their former student had gotten an accident from the school he had joined after King David. So they came, and the director, Madame Rose, said that when he's fit to go to school, she had offered a bursary from P4 to P7.
The school's head teacher says they are counseling parents who lost their children and others who were traumatized.
We started last week with some simple counseling and guidance, waiting the answer from our education department, Makinde Sabagabo, to give us a go-ahead. But when they called me in their offices, they told me that on Friday we are coming for official launch, for official opening. I welcomed it.
About 10 million shillings has been used by the family to get Chumuli's life in order. The family seeks for my help, to those who can help them to see that Chumuli gets back to school. Maria Jacinta Kanyange, NTV.
Now, in this segment, we will be bringing you some of the stories that made headlines while we were away. Therefore, do keep it NTV and also our social media platforms, NTV Uganda with the hashtag NTV News for more updates. Now, continuing with NTV Weekend Edition, the Ministry of Water and Environment, together with NEMA, have revised the approach of relocating wetland encroachers across the country. According to two ministries, abrupt demolition will not solve the recurring illegalities, which have even seen some victims lose property. The ministry says demarcating wetlands will now create room for victims to negotiate and have voluntary vacations. The ministry yesterday spent the day in NTV at Namiro Swamp, demarcating the swamp and engaging municipal council leaders to agree on when the victims should leave the contested land, where over 200 families are affected.
Many families were rendered homeless recently after the rising water levels of Lake Victoria submerged several homes in Namiro Swamp in NTV municipality. It is evident that many residents were at risk of contracting waterborne diseases. This prompted the National Environmental Management Authority to remind the affected people that they were encroaching on the wetland. The authority said plans to restore the wetland would start soon. Yesterday, the Ministry of Water and Environment started the demarcation effort.
And so far we have demarcated more than 3,000 kilometers countrywide. This is not a no mean achievement when you look at the amount of money we spend to demarcate a kilometer, which is about 2 million. So if you look at 3,000 kilometers, it's a huge amount of money.
Several local leaders have appreciated the effort, saying it will enable the would-be encroachers to avoid the demarcated wetland.
We don't want to go the Rubiji way we did, because we tried our best, they couldn't move. the Karidubi Way, Salama Road, you know what happened recently. We tried our best. So we hope this time that we have the local leaders who are really spearheading this exercise, we hope they will listen. Once we have shown them the boundary line, we hope they could be able to move voluntarily. And of course, we shall not be really too harsh on them. We can even give them a year if they are positive and we sign with them compliance agreements. We can even give them a year and tell them, please move peacefully. Those who have the permits, then we can always look at, that's another merit. We can look at the merits of those permits that they have secured from our offices and we see if they are viable to continue with their project. Some of them could.
The ministry says such encroachment has affected water quality and this may have a ripple effect on human health and water for production.
Is an income-generating activity. So we would really support those ones to make sure that they use this wetland sustainably and wisely and benefit your communities.
This is one of the places, and actually just adjacent to NTV International Airport, and this is Namiro Wetland. Hundreds of people have encroached on it, but the rising water levels affected many. The Ministry of Water and Environment says they are using a soft approach to inform those that have encroached on the wetland to leave willingly, and the mark stones have been planted. If anyone is beyond, can just relocate without them evicting them forcefully. They say this exercise is going to continue across the country and many people shall have to take advantage of this. And many engagements are now being implemented across different parts of the country. Kamana Ivan Wanyolo for NTV in Entebbe.
Thank you, Ivan. Now, rice traders across the country are calling on the government to intervene in the manner in which the Minister of Trade has been issuing permits for rice imports after many traders were denied the permits required to import rice into Uganda. According to the traders, only 25 companies are granted import permits, leaving many traders stranded with their consignments at the border.
This morning, rice traders met to seek a solution after the Ministry of Trade declined to issue them permits to import rice. The traders accused the Ministry of Trade of awarding the permits to only 25 individuals or companies.
Why are our companies being denied licenses, yet we pay all the tax money that we're supposed to pay?
Over like 200 companies that are importing rice, but there were only 20 companies that were given. Later on, after like a few days, 2 days, they also added more 5 companies that are bringing rice. Yet, those are not the real companies. They are not the real people that are importing rice. So we, who have trucks at the border, who are importing rice direct from Tanzania to here, our trucks are stranded at the border. It's now been 2 weeks. Our stores are empty.
They also claim that some of the companies and traders who received the permits are demanding exorbitant fees from other traders seeking access to the permits.
The challenge that we are getting here as clearing agents, we received a letter from Ministry of Trade claiming that there are only 20 companies that are supposed to be importing rice. And now the challenge that we are having, of the 20 companies, not all of them are importers. Most of them just want to use the advantage. First of all, they're charging clients a lot of money. 180,000 per ton is a lot of money.
After being denied the permits, dozens of trucks transporting rice into Uganda have been stuck at the Uganda-Tanzania border at Mutukula since the 27th of last month. The traders say the rice has started to spoil. The traders are calling on relevant authorities to investigate the corruption they allege exists within the Ministry of Trade.
Now been 2 weeks. Our stores are empty. The prices have shot in the market. They're asking our landlords are asking us for rent. We have no other sources of money to get rent from. We have banks. We have loans from the banks. So it's really tormenting.
Our crew visited the Mutukula border and found long queues of trucks with no activity taking place. To pass time, several drivers were playing cards. Officials from the Uganda Revenue Authority say they are only implementing directives issued by the Ministry of Trade.
Our role is to mediate between URA or customs, never traders. Kati singa so definitely we shall not be working, and that will mean abantu bangi baba bajiddwako emirimu gyabwe.
The traders want the Ministry of Trade to revert to the previous systems of issuing permits to all eligible traders so they can continue with their business, especially at a time when many are burdened with outstanding loans. The matter was also raised in Parliament yesterday, where Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa asked the government to explain the criteria used to issue the import permits.
So they gave 25 companies, and those 25 companies allotted themselves time. Today, all importers go through me. The next day, all importers go through another one. And on a charge where a ton was 110,000, in one single day, a ton went to 180,000. And you are charging Ugandans, and we expect these people to be happy with the government. Sometimes I've seen why people are not happy with the government.
Lydia Feli Akulu, NTV.
We now stop for another break, but NTV Weekend Edition returns with more stories. Do stay with us.
Ofuna mawuli agakagwawo oba streaming film yo josinga okwagala n'ebirala bingi nnyo buli wiiki ku 10 zokka nga kugirako ne data wa GB 10 kati osobola okulaba TV zonna ez'omu Uganda kusa n'okuwuliza radio zonna live nga tosobola okuzzaamu emabega okurekodinga okuyimirizaamu ngamba ka pause ate n'oddamu n'ogizannya kati tokyalina kiweeraliikirira kuba amasannyalaze ne bwe gagenda oba ng'olina woolaze yo TV channels app yajja okukusootinga kati nno ne jaribu waffe owa bulijjo ofuna eddakiika 10 ez'okustreamingira ku bwereere buli lunaku enkola nyangu ejjudde essanyu ng'ate engeri gy'olaba ebikunyumira byonna ku muwendo gya wansi akadde konna wonna w'oli downloadinga UTV channels app olwaleero onyumire ebikusanyusa okutali kkomo.
We stood here a couple of years ago and we said, you remember about the Silicon Valley? And we saw the systems shake and shake and shake. Now I'm telling you, there are other systems that are about to shake and shake and shake.
There is not any man, prophet, psychic, whatever you may call them, that has stood in front of masses and has been that detailed and that specific about things year in, year out, and you have seen them before you.
Prophet Elvis Mbonye, the prophet with an unmatched record of prophetic fulfillment.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
On to business. For years, residents across the Greater Kampala metropolitan area have watched newly built roads deteriorate almost as quickly as they were completed, while others remain cut off by poor access. During a Kampala Metropolitan Infrastructure Inspection tour by ministers and division leaders, a different question emerged, not just how fast roads are being built, but whether they can stay intact and reconnect communities for the long term. Betty Ndagide brings us more.
The new roads under construction in Makindye Sabagabo are being built with dedicated underground service ducts to protect the road surface from future destruction. But the innovation comes amid familiar realities of delayed utility relocation, dust and disrupted access for residents. Following an inspection of the Lubowa and Sente Makitebi roads, State Minister for Kampala Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs Kabyecho Fatogabye said the service ducts are intended to ensure utility providers no longer return to cut through the newly completed roads.
Our plan is that we provide what we call a service duct, where water and other like NTCs and then cables, the telecom cables all pass through the service duct. The intention of the service duct came up to avoid them cutting our roads all the time, because this road is going to cost us a lot of money and it's going to be beautiful it will have almost about 5mm layers of tarmac. Now, the following day, you find someone is cutting because he wants to pass there a cable for telecom. No, we said no, let's provide all the service ducts. So if you want to install anything, you just go through the service duct, which is going to be provided. And then at the end of the day, I expect a walkway on both sides and street lights.
In NTV, the real transformation is the return of access to communities long isolated by deteriorating roads. With the heavy civil works on the Chitoro-Nachiwogo Road largely complete, attention has shifted to finishing the project on time as residents and businesses wait for full mobility to resume.
We have looked at the progress. This is Chitoro-Chiwafu Road all the way to Nachiwogo at the landing site. And we are seeing that there is at least 60-something% done. The hard work, the heavy lifting, which is the civil works, that's the excavation, the drainage, and all that, they're finished. The part left, much as the contract days, we're seeing a few left. They say they will be done within a few days. So we'll keep monitoring, and hopefully we'll have our roads ready for people to use before the expiry of their contract.
From protecting roads from repeated excavation to restoring access to communities, the real measure of these projects will not be in the kilometers of tarmac laid, but whether they deliver lasting mobility without repeating costly mistakes of the past. Betty Ndagiri for NTV.
Still in business, Ugandan businesses trading with China are set to benefit from faster and potentially cheaper cross-border transactions following the integration of China's cross-border interbank payment system into the local banking market. Now, the platform allows companies to settle payments directly in the Chinese yuan, reducing a reliance on intermediary currencies such as the US dollar. Now, this is expected to lower foreign exchange risks, reduce transaction costs, and improve the speed of international payments between Uganda and China. Now, the move comes at a time when trade between the two countries continues to expand, with Uganda importing goods worth about $3.3 billion from China in 2025, while exports to China stood at 118 million US dollars. However, businesses say the continued depreciation of the local currency remains a risk that could affect the cost of trade.
Uganda and China are set to deepen trade ties following the introduction of a new payment system that will allow businesses to settle trade transactions in Chinese yuan, reducing reliance on the US dollar and easing foreign exchange risks.
So Gomao for us provides an opportunity to accelerate trade between Uganda and China. So it's really about a linkage, a platform that is linking traders with buyers between China and Uganda. So together or collectively, when we look at CIPS, the cross-border international payment system, and Gomao, which is a trading intervention, that is also going to be part of strengthening the trade between China and Uganda. So that is the whole essence of that partnership.
So if we talk about risk, we mainly talk about one is FX risk. FX risk has two folds. One is the currency volatility risk, and the second is the liquidity risk. But in Uganda, we are very lucky that we don't have liquidity risk for many years, and also our currency is quite stable. But still, that if for a company want to do a long-term business in Uganda, currency risk should be something we consider. So to address for the currency risk, especially for volatility, the bank also has some solutions and proposals to help them to mitigate that risk.
Chinese foreign direct investment in Uganda has crossed the $1 billion mark, with licensed Chinese investments now valued at approximately $1.2 billion. Rona Nahabwe, NTV Weekend Edition.
Everyone knows me as Zari, the boss lady. Often people wonder how I take good care of my baby. There's only one answer: soft care. I trust Soft Care. It leaves her comfortable, keeps her happy and free all day. Soft Care is made from natural cotton. Newly developed triple-layered absorbent system, magic tapes and elastic waist protects baby at all times.
Over 18 years, Soft Care has been sold in over 10 countries in Africa.
Join our big family of Soft Care, the best choice for your baby. Soft Care.
We stood here a couple of years ago and we said, you remember about the Silicon Valley? And we saw the systems shake and shake and shake. Now I'm telling you, there are other systems that are about to shake and shake.
There is not any man, prophet, psychic, whatever you may call them, that has stood in front of masses and has been that detailed and that specific about things year in, year out, and you have seen them before you.
Prophet Elvis Mbonye, the prophet with an unmatched record of prophetic fulfillment.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
On to sport, we do start off with rugby.